Presentation is on the Brumbies of the Kosciuszko National Park by Michaela Bell. New South Wales in Australia is home to many wild horses. Many of these horses reside in the Kosciuszko National Park. These wild horses are the only ones in Australia with the name Brumby. While these Brumbies are often viewed as iconic and heritage, they are damaging the park's environment, destroying habitats for native animals that require these ecosystems to survive. This growing environmental problem requires urgent and effective management before the damage is irreversible. The origin of the Brumby stems back to the arrival in Australia by the First Fleet in 1788. Sergeant James Brumby was the cause of the introduction of these horses. Once James Brumby was transferred to Tasmania, the horses were left behind and became known as Brumby's horses, eventually shortened to Brumbies. The early introduced horses primarily consisted of the Cape Barb, Arabian and Thoroughbred, as they were strong and resilient to the Australian climate. By the 1830s, the Brumbies had become established in the Kosciuszko National Park and rapidly grew. By the 1850s, due to high demand of working horses in farming, delivering goods and mining, recreational as a means of travel and meat consumption, to sport as some pleasure and a bit of fun. During World War I, many of these horses were released, as was common practice with the intention of the owners returning, which unfortunately didn't occur often after the war. This trend continued during the Great Depression, when financial hardship and industrialisation meant many people could no longer care for their horses. These events all combined to multiply and establish a permanent population of Brumbies in the Kosciuszko National Park. Accurately measuring the Brumby population in the Kosciuszko National Park is difficult due to the rugged and inaccessible terrain. To overcome this, scientists constructed a method of distance sampling. This involves categorising the park into areas seen in Figure 22. These areas are then surveyed and each area offering population estimates tallied to an average across the park, seen in Figure 23. This distance sampling excludes the Snowy Plains area but does offer consistent and accurate comparisons over time. Aerial surveys are conducted every 5 years beginning in 2001. In 2001, the estimated population was 3,000, dropping to 1,500 by 2004. However, from 2008 to 2019, the population surged with an average growth rate of 23%. 2009 showed 5,000 Brumbies, 9,000 in 2014, and close to 20,000 in 2019, as seen in Figure 24. The Kosciuszko National Park has severely damaged the environment since the 20th century. The trampling and eroding of streams and riverbanks lead to water pollution and reduced water quality downstream. This destruction also affects fragile ecosystems like bogs, peatlands, wetlands, and the alpine meadows, many of which are unique to the Australian Alps and Snowy Mountains. This includes endangered communities like the alpine sphagnum bogs and associated fens. The animals that reside in the park suffer habitat damage and are endangered, from the Corribee frog, mountain pygmy possum, and the Latham snipe, and many more. These habitats were recovering after the end of stock grazing, but are now under renewed threat from the Brumbies. Park Brumbies have no natural predators, so severe events like bushfires, droughts, and starvation are the only natural control methods. Although various management attempts have been made, such as removal, fertility control, and fencing, the only proven method has been aerial shooting, which is debatable, but if done humanely, horses will not have to suffer prolonged deaths. Limiting the numbers of Brumbies in the park is crucial for themselves and the surrounding natives. Everyone can help the Brumbies and the natives that reside in the park. A few ways you can is by signing the petition for a humane management plan to cull the Brumbies by invasives. The Brumby Alliance and the Brumby Project have applications to adopt a Brumby, and the National Parks and Wildlife Service has positions for anyone to volunteer or donate to conservations to protect native flora and fauna.